Hey everyone, this is Alan here from BMW Durham, back again with another video. In today's video, we're talking about what it's like for me to go from a M240i G42 that had all the equipment and then going to this 2024 BMW M240i with no options, and what that's like, what that has been like for me. What do I think, and what could I have changed if I could? So let's get right into it. So this is my 2024 M240i. The only package this has on it is the adaptive LEDs, and I only got them so I could reuse these yellow headlight modules that I had from my last one. But there's no other options on here. The only thing I picked other than the adaptive LEDs is the $900 Canadian paint charge for this Melbourne Red paint. Also chose these wheels because they're the only ones that came with non-run flat performance tires. But other than that, there's no premium package essential, no premium enhanced. So I've got no sunroof, no comfort access, no Harman Kardon, no lumbar support, among many other things. So what today's video is about is what do I think of this car after having the same car but with every option, and would I change anything, and what is my overall take? So I thought personally I would miss the comfort access. I thought that I would miss the Harman Kardon sound system. I thought I would miss the lumbar support, and I thought I would miss the adaptive M suspension. Now, of all those things, yeah, those are all really nice to have options. But the only thing that I'm really missing, to be honest, is the adaptive M suspension, and that's simply because this car is quite stiff without it, and there are certain roads and sections in Ontario, Canada, where it's just too stiff to go over some of these things without having your whole family flying around inside of the car. So if I were to do this again with a low spec or econo spec, or whichever way you want to call it, I would probably add the $1,000 adaptive M suspension, just so that when I'm in comfort or eco, I can soften the suspension just a little bit. Now, I know that many of you who are watching this are probably still young and thinking like, who cares? I like it stiff. Well, that was me 20 years ago, but now as an old man with a family, it's become a little bit higher on my priority list than it was before. Now, in terms of no comfort access, honestly, it was nice to just be able to walk up to the car, have it unlock, walk away, have it lock. It was very nice, but I probably have driven more in a car that I had to physically touch the key and put the key into the ignition than I have with push start and proximity sensing keys and such. So not a big deal. As for the sunroof, my daughter misses the sunroof way more than I do. I like sunroofs just for the light, some of the air coming in. But more importantly, I think center of gravity probably is better to me. So I don't miss the sunroof. I like the sunroof, but it's not something that I am really upset not having. Not having the head-up display, not a big deal. I honestly don't even really know the difference. I thought that by having the head-up display for 2 years and then not having it would make it so that I would not look at speed limits on the signs, but there's sometimes with the head-up display I barely even notice it was there. Lumbar support for longer trips, I do kind of miss it, but I don't take too many long trips, so not a big deal. A lot of people are upset with the airbag cover. I really don't care, but maybe if this was my car to own, I'd feel a bit differently about it, but it's not, so whatever. So in terms of Harman Kardon sound system, I really thought that I was going to miss it, because it bangs, it sounds so good. You can listen to it pretty well full crank with zero distortion. But honestly, the stock system is really good. It still bangs, it still has a great sound. However, it just can't go as loud as the other one while staying distortion free. But here's the reality. I don't listen to my music that loud anymore. Actually, I think I'm almost deaf. And if I put the music loud with my daughter in there, she says, "Daddy, it's too loud." So I'm not even missing the Harman Kardon sound system. So the reality is that this car is already equipped well enough that it has everything that I need and more all those other things, they're really nice to haves, and I did like having them when I did have them, but they're not necessary at all to me. And I really don't mind pressing the physical key. I think it's kind of cool engaging with the key again, which I kind of felt like we're losing touch with a little bit. But overall, if I could get another M240i equipped this way, I would not be opposed to it. I think I would just add the M suspension just because we don't have amazing roads here in Ontario, Canada. I was a little bit kind of like, oh man, I should have got exterior black contents to black all this stuff out and get rid of that gold thing in there and make it all black. It would look better with exterior black contents, but this doesn't look bad at all. I kind of like having cerium gray just so that I can show people what it looks like with that. But ultimately, it looks better without it, with the exterior black contents. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. I could also wrap all those components or swap them if I really needed to, but it's not necessary. So all in all, my experience with this car with no options has been very positive. I don't really have any complaints because at the end of the day, I was really just after that B58 power plant, and I just love the size of this car. The driving feel of this car is also really good. I mean, it's a little bit numb, but it's very responsive in the way that you'd like it to react. It performs really nicely, and most of all, it gives me all the Freude that I would ever need in a car. And the other thing that's funny is, as you may know if you've watched my videos, I really want a G87 M2. I really cannot justify it after doing several pros and cons lists. This car is actually the better car for me on a daily driver perspective, but the M2 is still something I want, even though I can't justify it. And of course, the train has to come and interrupt the video at least once if I'm doing it outside. But yeah, so here's the thing. G87 is more expensive. If I got a G87, it would be in the manual just because, but that means I don't have remote engine start, which is a minus. The G87 is rear wheel drive, so that could be a plus or a minus depending on the way you want to look at it. I think it's a little bit of both, just because I live in a place where all-wheel drive can be very helpful. Overall, it's just the cachet, or just saying I've got an M2 and that's what I drive. That would be awesome. But this car is cheaper. This car is all-wheel drive. This car still does the fun things that I want to do with the G87, like sliding around corners and such. So would it really make sense for me to get the G87 over the M2? Financially, no. But from a pure want perspective, yes. So keep watching the videos, keep sharing the videos, and hopefully you guys will send me to M-Town someday. All right, everyone, so that was my video on my thoughts of having a decontented M240i after having two consecutive really well-equipped M240is. This is my honest opinion of what I think about this car without options, and coming from somebody who's had them all and gone to less to see how bad that felt, it wasn't bad at all. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching.